Hi guys, my name is David and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be, well, not really reviewing, but more of a discussion of a book about a subject that I've been meaning to get into. I've been aware about this subject, but I haven't read a book about it. But that one is the Salem Witch Trials, Mass Hysteria and Many Lives Lost by Michael Burgan. But this one is really small. The font is really big, so I got through this one I think about 2 days. I was really familiar about the witch trials and about the kind of mass hysteria that people had about religion and about the devil and about obviously witchcraft. And I just want to say as well that I don't believe in witches. I know that some people out there read books about witchcraft and witches and spell books, and they're into this type of things, you know, Wiccas, and that's all well and good. I'm not really having a go at that. It's just that for like proper like witches, you know, like spells, no. I think that people may believe that they have this power, but yeah. But again, that's just my own opinion. So this book is really interesting. It focuses around the separate individuals. Each section is split up into a person that it focuses on. It's got numerous pictures in it. Yeah, and it was really interesting. It was really cool, especially back then when people were accused of witchcraft in Salem, primarily from children at first, and then it went on to like women accusing other women of witchcraft. And the book does bring this up as well, that back then, because this was 1692 I believe it is, that the town and the community was mostly ruled by men, and all the accusations were or the accusers were women. Not everyone that was accused was a female that was accused of being a witch. There were a few guys that were accused of being witches or warlocks or wizards or whatever. I believe one of them was a priest that wasn't really well liked in the community, and another one that was kind of famous didn't really want to, or refused to admit that he practiced witchcraft, so he was crushed to death with stones. The book explains about back then the town of Salem was extremely religious, real God-fearing people that feared anything different and feared Satan and evil, and it was really frightened by that. And I believe that that's what started all this. Really, people were kind of pointing fingers, and there wasn't really much evidence that these trials were subjected to. They were just basically, when someone was accused of being a witch, they were pretty much harassed until they actually buckled underneath the pressure and confessed about being a witch. And I suppose, I mean, why would people do this? There's been numerous theories. I'm not really going to. I mean, if you want to go in super depth, you're not going to go. You're not going to get that in this video. But I would recommend that you watch some videos on YouTube about it. But it's been implied that some of the crop was kind of, or crops that they had were affected, and it affected their minds by giving them these hallucinations that made their bodies contort in weird and unusual ways. And but I mean, why would someone accuse someone of being a witch? Well, to start off with, someone may not have liked that person. They may have had extreme hatred towards them, which resulted in them wanting to accuse that person of being a witch in their community, and that they would be outcast and shunned in their community. They would still be allowed to be there, but they would be shunned by their community and looked down upon. I think that's how it started, but as time goes on, people were hanged as being witches. No one was burned at the stake. I think that was over here in Europe, but I think that when people were accused of being a witch and people knew that they would be hung and killed, I mean, why would people do this? I really do not know. The book brings up attention seeking, because men were dominant in this society back then, and women were doing this because they wanted attention. There was no proof that was brought up or mentioned in the trial. There was no evidence. It was just badgering these people and like trying to get a confession out of them. It was really sad about all these people, because not everyone was. When people were accused about being witches, they weren't really. I mean, most people just denied that they were witches. I mean, as you would do, and it's just really sad about this time in the world. And this book kind of gives you kind of a flavour about that. And at the end, it does say that after all this was said and done, some people that were the accusers retorted their accusations and said that they basically made it all up. So my overall impressions on the book is that it's really powerful, it's really upsetting, and I mean, regardless whether you believe in witchcraft or not, and it has got me interested in reading other books about witchcraft. I'm not in a mad rush to do so, but it is a fascinating subject. It really is a fascinating thing to read, especially, well, probably not just in October, but in any time of the year, as this is history. I mean, not history that we want to remember, but it's a part of our history as a species, about how we were like afraid of stuff, that we were afraid of the unknown, we were afraid of what we didn't understand. We may have been afraid by people from different ethnic backgrounds, from different countries that we weren't familiar about, and we were probably afraid about evil coming into our towns and our villages and our communities and kind of infesting that and upsetting the balance of things. And also evil and the devil were really feared. Probably, if I was to think about it, probably more feared than God. But that's just how it was back then. Just how it was. But yeah, let me know if you are into this type of thing. Let me know if you have read anything about, or if you've read any books about the Salem Witch Trials. And yeah, let's just have a discussion about it down below in the comments. I mean, let me know, do you believe in witchcraft? Do you not believe in witchcraft? What are your theories about what happened in Salem? I know it's really popular, especially at this time of the year. If there's any specific books about the Salem Witch Trials that you think that I should pick up, then please comment down below and I will do my best to try find them. I mean, I suppose that when it comes to what I'm going to rate this book as a whole about the Salem Witch Trials, it'll probably be a 4 out of 5. This book's whole point was just to give you a kind of a flavour for this subject. It's kind of a pocket-sized book, but I'm pleased that I read it. And it was definitely entertaining, I'll say that, and different. So with all that out of the way, I'll see you on my next video, guys.